Bobby Worthy here, Judge Advocate General for the Justice League United, former Minister of Law and Justice for the new Black Panther Party. We're here today to discuss the illegal and unlawful incarceration of Roscoe Allen. And I'm gonna give y'all a quick rundown. Roscoe Allen, February 6, 2020, Roscoe Allen was a protective order was given to the mayor, granted to the mayor, Tony Paul, against Roscoe Allen. Roscoe Allen allegedly on May 21st, 2020, violated that order. And since then, Roscoe Allen has been incarcerated in the Coffee County Jail. They denied his bond, they denied him to get him out, they denied him to go to the VA to get medical treatment and all that. So to bring you up to speed, Roscoe is now, as of his original order was signed February 6, 2020. That order expired February 6th.
February 5th, 12 o'clock midnight.
February 6th.
Okay.
That order was expired February 6th at midnight on 2021. Thus, as of today, Roscoe Allen is still incarcerated. Roscoe Allen is still incarcerated. Thus, his incarceration is unlawful and illegal. I've sent letters to Judge J. Kelly Brooks. I have sent letters to Judge Gillis here. No response, letting them know the illegal incarceration. And let me explain to people that always on Facebook talking about, well, Georgia law says this about a restraining order, you can get up to 10 years. I understand that. But they didn't charge Roscoe with a new charge. They just locked him up for violating a temporary restraining order. Thus, the temporary restraining order expired. So does the judge's authority and to keep him incarcerated. Thus, that's false arrest and false imprisonment. Now, let me bring you to this point. I talked with the FBI. FBI Woods. Oh, I'm sorry. You told me not to mention your name, but I did. But anyway, FBI Woods told me that I did not have a lawful right to arrest Judge Kelly Brooks, that I didn't have the authority to arrest Judge Kelly Brooks. That's not what the Constitution says. The Constitution says I have a right to perfect the citizen arrest on anybody. That does not exclude public officials.
That's right.
And thus, to take you forward in the conversation, the FBI told me, you can't tell them that the FBI won't get involved in this case. I say, it's called free speech. Watch me. And here it is, y'all. The FBI said this case is not important. It's not involved. But if you go on the news, I sent y'all the link to the website, the FBI website. I sent it to the news media. If you go on that website, it clearly says that false arrest is within the jurisdiction of the FBI. So stop lying and start prosecuting the judges. So that's what we're here today, to free Roscoe. I'm planning on filing a Judicial Qualification Commission complaint on both Judge Gillis, since he's the chief judge, and Judge J. Kelly Brooks, and also against the Public Pretender's Office for not standing up for Roscoe. And like I said, I don't care what nobody say. Once a judge order ends, understand that, once it expires, the judge's order expires, so does his authority to incarcerate. Now, they just filed an extension. That extension has not started yet. You don't go to court to when?
February 25th.
February 25th. Y'all make sure y'all be here at this courthouse. Everybody show up in black at this courthouse, in numbers, in strength. But that order hasn't even started yet.
Right.
So Roscoe is still incarcerated. We want him released. The next rally gonna be at the jailhouse. I'm coming to see you. Because it's time, and it's time to stop playing games and start putting paperwork on them. I will be filing a criminal complaint against Judge J. Kelly Brooks, because this is type of stuff won't be tolerated. And I hate to say this is us that's doing that. We got to stop it. It's always us. If y'all hadn't seen the movie Us, and I'm not talking about us by black and white. I'm not talking about black, us. I'm talking about us, period. That's what I mean. Some of y'all folks that think Bobby Worthy race is right. Nice try. My mama white. Blah.
Hey!
But anyway, but that's why we're here. So I'm gonna introduce some speakers. If the news media got any questions for me before I introduce some people that want to speak. The speaker came from Valdosta. Y'all can ask me any questions y'all want to ask. Let them speak. All right, speak. All right,
This is a copy of the last order that was entered against Roscoe Allen Jr. And this is the reason cited by Tony Lamar Court, Mayor of Douglas, Georgia. 3, petitioner shows that the extended protection of the statute is needed. Reason why? Conversation in the community is that Mr. Allen, even while in jail, continues to make statements that he is going to harm me when he is released.
Oh. How long is that for? How long was he requesting that for? Tell us the time frame, sir. It's on the front page of it. Oh, Tony. It's at the very front.
Yeah, they on this. I'll tell them. Go ahead.
It's on here. He has filed a motion for 3-year / permanent stalking protective order. That's how long it's being requested.
Let me go ahead and introduce.
The night where he's in shooting asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. The night where he's in shooting asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Hey, listen, this lady don't need no introduction in Douglas because she's on the city council of Douglas. Y'all bless their heart. They need help. But here, Mr. Lear, your commissioner, Douglas, Georgia, Mr. Lydia Coley-Pearson.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Thank you. Let me first and foremost thank each and every one of you all for coming out here today. This is a worthy cause. Just like it's Roscoe today, it could be either one of you. Come on. Or your children. This is a grave injustice taking place in Coffee County, in the city of Douglas. When this incident happened, that Roscoe allegedly threatened the mayor while he was passing on Gaskin, South Gaskin, front of the block, when the mayor had called a public meeting on the block comments, I'm going to impeach your ass. A comment he makes all the time because he believes, and I know and believe, that Roscoe was treated wrong. He was discriminated against by the City of Douglas Board of Commissioners and the mayor when they voted not to reimburse him his $40,000 for water and sewer hookup for developing a subdivision here in Douglas, okay? There were 4 contractors that applied to get their monies reimbursed to them. 3 white, 1 black. Mr. Allen was the black one. The 3 whites got reimbursed. Mr. Allen didn't. Since then, Mr. Allen has come to the city council making his complaints for the way he was treated, and rightfully so. When is enough enough? City of Douglas. I'm not talking about City of Douglas black folk. I'm talking about City of Douglas, everybody. When is enough enough? Like I say, today is Mr. Allen.
Just like my man got mad with me about this right here. I gave every one of y'all copies right here. It said right here. Now, Mike McGowan had one, all y'all had one. It says, Commissioner Roper, deposition testimony. You heard what I said? Mike McGowan said it's a summary. Now, he's a lawyer, you know that? He had a copy of this. That's what it said right here. It says, Commissioner Roper, deposition testimony. Now, I'm going to tell you what Mr. Roper said about this testimony. You understand that? About this waste, this sewage, this water sufficient policy. Y'all said that was suspended. That policy never was suspended. Now, you too, Preston. You write the news too. Now, you wrote about them going on that trip. Spending, what, $1,700? Well, why didn't you put this in the paper about Francis Lott, Griffin, Dennis Joseph, getting all this free, water sewer ran free behind closed doors. I found out about the policy, then y'all said suspended. It wasn't never suspended. Why you put that in the paper? Preston, huh? Does the Enterprise, where you at? Why you put that in the paper? But you don't put in the paper about what they done, little penny money, and here you go, they spending $1,000 on waterway sewer. It cost me $42,000 to run mine. Now, what the thing it cost them? They said it was bigger than mine. Then y'all complaining about, hey, every time black with this newspaper is biased towards black. That's why I'm suing it. Doesn't I meant what I say. I don't care how much money I spend, I'm gonna sue the city too. Come on. And Charlie Taylor, how I directed something to it or Michael Dollar threat. You tell me. How I directed a threat to him. What did I say? You mean tell me a physical speech about a 9mm or she ain't going? That's a physical speech. It's like 100 going, so I got a 12-gauge shotgun. That's a lie. You put in that paper. And I'm gonna show you in this city here. It's time out for y'all to come up here and do black like do. You're wrong, you're wrong. If you're city heat, don't run for city commission. You got that? Don't run. You can't take the heat.
We got your
It's enough of this bias stuff going on with black. Every time black come up there, the city will make the city. Y'all make the city look bad. The city is making the city look bad. Do right, we'll have that problem you want.
Mr. Allen, I completely agree with you.
That's what I say.
I do.
And I'm going to sue back up there.
Because you
did
not make a
That's right. And you Preston, I wish you wrote something about me. I was suing you too. Your paper. But all that about them that was spending little $1,700. They go friends line, spend all this money on them behind closed doors, running the water sewer line free. That's what it costs to go, running the water sewer line free.
Yeah.
They got found out about that suspended. I'm finna read what Commissioner Definition, which all y'all had. You do said I just do telling help. I ain't crazy. You ain't crazy. You had the deposition here. Yeah. All that to read what Mr. Roper said, a credible been in here 30 years. I'm finna read on every one of y'all listen to this. Hear me? Hear what I say? Or all y'all listen to this. On June the 27th, 2003, plaintiff deposed Mr. Roper's deposition. When questioned about it, Mr. Roper stated that he didn't remember the policy changes. He knew he didn't vote to change it. You got that? He said that the policy suspicion could have happened, but not while he was in office. Now, he was in office way after I read this subdivision. You tell me now. Right. And listen to this here, the last statement he said. about them now going on that trip down to eat, because $1,700, that ain't chicken change. That's what I said, that's right. I wish you wrote something about me too. I don't be suing your paper too. I mean what I say.
$1,700 were also for hotel expenses.
I know. I'm still, they don't mean that. Look how much money they spend on them.
Not just
Run the water sewer line. It cost me $42,000 to run mine. They certainly bigger than mine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand your compassion, Mr. Allen, and again, I apologize that you
I
have
want to
not,
tell what I said.
that you have not been
You don't have
compensated.
no my attorney real well. He don't sue the city twice.
Yeah.
And wore that butt out. I'm gonna wear your butt out too, sis. I mean what I say. I'm gonna wear the newspaper out too. I went there on Friday morning.
Mr. Allen, the mayor pro tem has a question.
My question would be, because I was gonna bring this up in the meeting too, as well. I wanna know who submitted this to Douglas Enterprise.
No, who did, Charlie? They did too.
Who submitted
That's
it?
incorrect, Ron.
Well,
You
no,
got
I
to
did
ask the
too.
city manager.
City
Well,
manager.
it's in the paper here.
City manager.
Wait,
Who
Mr.
submitted
Allen,
it
hold on.
to
Let,
Douglas
No,
Enterprise?
I got credit right
The
here.
reason why I said that, because I
Here
got.
go the paper. I can read everything it said right here.
Let the city
Last
manager-
week paper.
Mr. Allen.
Well, go ahead and say it. I wanna know too.
Mr. City Manager, who submitted that to the Douglas Enterprise?
Have no idea. It's their normal recap from their commission meeting. If you
So
look
where
at,
did they get it from? They wasn't.
Somebody.
if you look at the agenda items from last time and newspaper article, it went out of its way to make sure no names were mentioned. So
But also on that article, it has our comments that we said in the last meeting.
That's right.
So therefore, we have the comments that we said in the last meeting. All of my comment that was in there that wasn't all to what I said in that last
You'd
meeting.
have to ask the Douglas Enterprise because their representative was here. I mean, nobody that I know of submitted anything to
She
the.
was here. Christy was here.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Commissioner, let me read this article, okay? I want everybody to hear this article. We gonna find
And y'all all have an article provided up at your desk.
Let me read the article, okay? The article says right here. This is what the article says. City address safety days after individual make threatening remarks. During the last session of Douglas Mayor and Commission meeting on Tuesday, November 13th, Mayor Tony Paul and the Commission discussed the safety and security concerning the Douglas City Hall by the incident at an October meeting where an individual made threatening remarks direct to a commissioner. City Manager Charlie Davis stated that the point of this conversation was not just revolving around the particular incident, but was meant to talk about security as a whole in the current building. During October 22nd meeting, an individual allegedly made a remark, I got a 9mm.
9mm. Towards.
I got to pay him. Toward one of the city commissioners. According to Davis, the comment sparked several department heads, regular staff, and some council members approaching him concerned about the safety and security. They have been very concerned about this individual erratic behavior, disrespect for council members, threatening body language, Davis said. They also stated that the police have looked into the threat and said, now I'm gonna tell you something. I wish the police department would have arrested me, you understand that? For threat. But I didn't threaten nobody. I wish they would have arrested me. Then I'll be to the police department. I meant what I say.
Finish reading it.
I'm finna finish that. Hold your horse. I'm on the jungle now.
Okay.
All right? I'm on the jungle.
Come on.
All right. They state that the police have looked into the threat and said the best we can determine is that the threat was conditional, not unconditional. Commissioner Edwin Taylor stated, we do need to have security at all times during our meeting for the safety of the commission and all who attend. I definitely think that's something we need to look into because in this day and time, you never know what is going on in an individual mind. Commissioner Karen Darns thought, I understand we need to have security, but we do not have the Douglas Post, we do have the Douglas Post Department here. But if they could beef that up a little bit and maybe get a metal detector, I think it would be great because you never know what incident might occur. I think this is a time to talk about this because I don't want to have this conversation after the event. So do we do something now or wait until something possible happens? Before the event or after the event is why I'm bringing this up. Mayor Tony Park stated, yes, I am all for being proactive. I agree. Commissioner McNeil replied, there is nothing wrong for a citizen to come here and tell us we are idiots and get upset because of situations. What is not okay is when that conversation becomes harmful or threatening. We got to make sure we know the difference. Mayor Park responded, considering the intention that people have in this day of time, I can agree that something should be in place.
Since then, Mr. Allen has come to the city council making his complaints for the way he was treated, and rightfully so. When is enough enough? City of Douglas, I'm not talking about City of Douglas black folk. I'm talking about City of Douglas, everybody. When is enough enough? Like I say, today is Mr. Allen. Tomorrow it could be you. It could be me. It's already been me when they brought the frivolous, unjust charges against me for voter fraud in 2016. It's already been me. They thought they were getting me off the council. It didn't work. It didn't work because God is my judge. God is my protector. God is with Mr. Allen. They got something plotted up that they're trying to do to Roscoe. But I tell you, God is not going to allow it to happen. He's not going to allow it to keep going through y'all. We are some praying people. The prayers of the righteous availeth much. We are some praying people. And we have been praying for a long time now. It's time for justice for Roscoe. That order expired on February the 5th, 12 o'clock midnight. 12 o'clock midnight officially became February the 6th. But at that point, that order had expired. Thank you. Come join us. That order expired. So the powers that be and the evil, corrupt folk in the city of Douglas, Coffee County got their evil minds together and plotted to come up with a new petition to hold Mr. Allen for 3 more years and permanently. Time is out. Roscoe is somebody's child. He's been treated unfairly, unjustly. He's somebody's husband. He's somebody's father. It's time out, Douglas. It's time out, Douglas. When is enough enough? When is enough enough? Are you tired? Are you tired? If you keep sitting down, I guarantee you, your day coming and it's coming soon. February 25th, 9 o'clock a.m. Be here. Support Roscoe with this frivolous, unjust charges that's been brought against him. I'm begging and pleading with you all. Because y'all want to come knocking on folks' doors when trouble and the law and unjust knocking on your door. It's time to come out when it's knocking at somebody else's door. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
All right, y'all give a hand. Hey, Mr. Living Public Ministry, God permission. Mr. Harrell want to say something real quick.
One other thing I want to say, and it's this. I was given information about the vote that took place at the city commission meeting.
Okay.
Okay. What I was told, the vote was 3-3 tie. The mayor broke the tie. Not to give Roscoe.
It was 3-3. 3 blacks voted to give it to him.
Yeah.
3 whites voted not to give it to him. The mayor, y'all's mayor, Tony Park, voted with the 3 whites to not reimburse Roscoe Allen his money. I'm putting it plain and simple. I'm keeping it real. The record speaks for itself. The truth is the truth. Go ahead, Mr. President. I'm sorry.
Well, that's really all I want to say.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, y'all give a hand.
Olivia,
Mr. Livia, y'all got
Commissioner Pearson, because you stated that so strongly, for the record, I would like for you to say it once again. How did the votes occur and who voted for what?
Thank you, Mr. Rhymes. When the matter came before the mayor commission, the votes were 3 in favor to reimburse Mr. Allen for his water sewer hookup, 3 to not reimburse Mr. Allen. 3 blacks voted to reimburse, the 3 whites voted to not reimburse. Tony Pope, when he voted along with the 3 whites to not reimburse Mr. Allen. Since then, Mr. Allen came making complaints to City Hall, to our meetings, because he knew that it was unfair what had happened to him to not be reimbursed of his money. Mr. Pope got mad and upset about him coming to these meetings, and next thing we know, he's filing a restraining order to keep Mr. Allen from the meetings. Now, in my opinion, in my humblest opinion, being an elected official, I don't care if y'all came down there and cursed me out. As long as you didn't put your hands on me, that's your freedom of speech to voice your concern. I can't go and take out a restraining order against you for saying I'm a bitch if you feel like that. I just can't do it. Robert Preston threatened me at one of our city council meetings. Told me, you better not. You got one more time. I got one more time to say what I was saying about him and Tony lied on Roscoe, because I was on the phone with Roscoe at the time he passed by the block. So I heard exactly what he said. But I called him and Tony a liar, because that's what they are. And so he got mad with me, Robert Preston, for me saying he was a liar. Yes, you are. You are a liar. You are a liar. You are a liar. You a liar. You a liar. Both of y'all a liar. Because y'all lied on Roscoe. That was not what he said. You lied. You lied. You lied. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You lied. You lied. You lied. You got so mad because you know you lied. That's why you got so mad. I'm good. I'm good. It's just wrong for folks to sit and tell a blatant lie on somebody to get what they want. I'm good. I'm good. I want to tell them to their face. Hey. I'm good. Great. I just can't do it. Robert Preston threatened me at one of our city council meetings. Told me, you better not. You got one more time. I got one more time to say what I was saying about him and Tony lied on Roscoe, because I was on the phone with Roscoe at the time he passed by the block. So I heard exactly what he said. But I called him and Tony a liar, because that's what they are. And so he got mad with me, Robert Preston, for me saying he was a liar.
Who is this Mr. Robert?
Robert Preston is the editor or what have you for Douglas Now News. Douglas Now News, a very biased news reporting social media site. Very biased. How in the hell is it that on the evening that Roscoe passed by Gaskin Avenue, that Tony Pope and Robert Preston heard the exact same thing that Roscoe allegedly said? But then when Tony Pope came up here for the hearing, for Mr. Roscoe's hearing, he admitted in court. Oh, he didn't say that. I thought he said he was gonna F me up and whoop my. I thought. So Robert Preston thought he heard that too? No, they conspired and got together to tell that lie to law enforcement, which making a false report to law enforcement is a felony. So, like I say, that's how the vote went. And that's the reason why we are where we are, because Mr. Allen was coming complaining that he was not reimbursed his money like his white colleagues were. That's what it started from.
Well, have the local justice department or judicial system, how's their credibility in this town along the lines of fairness?
It's exemplary to you how our judicial system is here in Coffee County because of the fact, this phone is not shut off. Hope somebody get it. Because of this fact right here, one of them. The charges that were brought against me in 2016 for voter fraud should have never been brought about. They never called that young lady in to the grand jury that I supposedly committed voter fraud with, okay? So it should never got a true bill. Grand jury never talked to that young lady. However, when the trial started and that lady came to the stand, she told them. She didn't tell me who to vote for. She didn't touch my screen. She just explained to me how to vote because I had never voted before. Where in the hell is that voter fraud at? Let me give you one more example of how this judicial system is in Coffee County. Let me tell you. There was a young man murdered here. I think they said his name is Van Brown. The persons that were arrested for his murder were released in 30 days on a bond. Murder. 30 days. Mr. Allen just was alleged that he made a threat that the mayor admitted to he didn't make. And he's still sitting several months later. You tell me about the credibility of the judicial system here in Coffee County. I can tell you some more cases. It's 3 more cases.
What,
my young mother right there.
What?
Tracy, what Tracy? I don't know. Her son. In prison right now. In prison right now. The person say their house got broke in. But their house got broke in, but whoever broke in had on masks, ski masks. They didn't ever see who the people were that broke in. But her son and 1 or 2 more young men, your grandbaby, your baby in it, they in prison right now for it. That's how the judicial system in Coffee County works. But what I cannot understand for the life of me, why this sidewalk ain't filled with folks that look like us, or that's poor and can't get fair representation, why they're not here. Because like I said earlier, it's us today. But somebody else tomorrow. I'm telling you now, y'all keep sleeping, Coffee County.
One more thing, because you are doing such a thorough job. My question is, when you did go to court for that voter fraud case,
yes, sir.
If it was not, explain what happened on that last jury and what one juror said they had to go through in that court, in the deliberation room.
When we went to trial right here in Coffee County, you have 12 jurors. There was one young black girl, 23, 24 years old, whatever, would not vote guilty. They threatened to send her to jail. They told her she didn't need to be there. The young lady was in tears, but she would not be moved. Last name is armor. The Bible tells you to put on the whole armor of God. See, my God told me at the beginning of that mess, he was going to bring me out of it. I didn't know I was going to have to go to trial twice. I thought it would be one time. That one young lady held out and said, not guilty. 11 other people on there heard the same stuff she heard. Well, that young lady said, I didn't touch the screen, I didn't tell her who to vote for. But they said, those 11 people said, guilty. So glory be to God for that one juror, because like I said, God told me he was going to bring me through it. After that first trial, I said, God, you told me you was bringing me out of this. He said, I am bringing you out. You just don't give up. I'm the reason that one juror was there. So that was a mistrial. We got
Greetings. I'm George Boston Rise with the Get To Free Press. And as you know, I'm covering 18 cities and counties where voter suppression, intimidation, impeding the black vote, and removing black elected officials from office. I was called to Douglas some time ago when we elevated our investigation from Madison, Florida through approximately 17 other cities. I was called to Douglas. whites were indicted on voter fraud. When I arrived in Douglas, I met a commissioner by the name of Olivia Coley Pearson. And I've traveled with her, I have posted videos. But now, she, like many others, had to go and face a judge and a jury. And after the verdict came in that case, it was determined to be a mistrial. They only brought her up on 2 charges. 2. I want this juror to tell you what they were deliberating on. But first, I want you to listen to her as she gives an introduction to help you along the way on what I call a pattern and practice of stopping the black vote and keeping blacks from holding office here in the state of Georgia and Florida that I can vouch for.
There's a lie when he said you won't sleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. The violence of this beast must cease. There's a lie when I wonder who will wake him. Get up, Lion. Did you think we was gonna stay down forever? New day. 19-9 Chevy. Beware, Obama wake him. For 442 goddamn damnable years. The cop is laid strict. I see eagles gathered everywhere. Eagles still be gathered.
Where are you from?
Douglas, Georgia.
What are your educational level?
Finished high school, and that's pretty much it.
High school diploma, okay. And I guess you received a notification or summons through the mail to do what as far as the jury selection, or you was in the pool of potential jurors, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you was selected.
Yes, sir.
How many was on your jury?
There was 14 and 2 alternates.
And 2 alternates, okay. How many blacks?
There were 3 blacks total, and only 2 served on the jury's case as deliberator.
So one of them was an alternate?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
1 alternate black and 1 alternate white.
Okay. Was there any Asians or other ethnic individuals on that particular jury?
Yes, sir. There was 1 Hispanic.
1 Hispanic, okay. Have you ever served on a jury before?
No, sir. That was my very first time.
Before we get into some of the questions, can you tell me a little bit about what you thought a jury would be in comparison to what it actually was after you was selected to be on it?
I more of thought a juror being, I know when you get back there, it's going to be, some where we're going to agree and some we're going to disagree. But when I got back there, it was just pointing of the fingers on your opinion. Like, it made people mad if you didn't side with them and if you stood up for what you felt like was right. And I had no idea
when you say it was just that bad, you mean along the lines of dealing with race?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It started when I first got there.
Well, excuse me. Just go and tell your story. Just go any way you wanted to. Tell us what actually happened when you was in that jury box.
Okay. Well, to start, when I first got there, I didn't do any research on the case. I went in with a clear mind and heart. So when I got there, of course, when I walked in the room, no one said good morning. You know, that's fine. I'm a big believer in when you enter, you speak. So I sat down and I told everyone good morning. So after me, followed me was a white lady. When she come in, they spoke good morning. Following her was one of the black jurors, the alternate. No one said good morning. And following him was a white guy, where everyone said good morning. So, you know, I took that in consideration, but I still try to keep an open mind towards everything. So once we got back there, after hearing the trial, within 2 or 3 minutes of being back there, everyone had come up with a verdict. So when we knocked on the door for the bailiff clearly told us that we hadn't been in there long enough to deliberate to come up with a verdict. So, when we first got back there and did the vote of guilty or not guilty, we did a hand vote. And I feel like by doing a hand vote, it caused a whole lot of confusion. Of course, at first I was 11-1 on both charges. I was the only one standing not guilty. And being that, they automatically started pointing the finger. So we went around the room deliberating, person by person. And when it got to me of saying not guilty, they wanted reasons of why. But we went around the room and some people never stated why they felt guilty or not guilty. The Hispanic guy to me was clearly lost about everything that was going on. He didn't understand the concept of everything. On one vote, we wrote it on paper, and he didn't even understand what route we was going with that. So he never deliberated, never nothing. He automatically said guilty, and I feel like he was just following along with everyone else instead of speaking up for what he felt was right. With the deliberating, with the pointing of the finger, I felt like if we would have did it unanimously or anonymously or whatever, writing it down, I felt like that would have been a better decision to do. They told me that by me deliberating, they would have knew that it was me saying not guilty, but like I told her, you would have assumed, but you would have knew for sure. It would have never been facts. Basically, I just did what God placed on my heart and what I felt like was right. On the 2 counts, at first when we first got there, everyone was saying 11-1 saying guilty except for me. But after I gave my reasons on the first count, which was improper assistance, you know, I persuaded 2 people to change their mind because clearly on the first charge, on the improper assistance, the witness stated that Ms. Pearson didn't touch her screen. She only showed her how to insert the card and read out directions on what was going on. So that right there was reasonable doubt of, you know, I felt like she was innocent on it. The witness even stated that she didn't touch her screen or didn't, you know, have anything to do with casting her vote.
Just don't give up. I'm the reason that one juror was there. So that was a mistrial. We got a second trial. My attorneys got to change the venue out of Crooked Coffee. Out of Crooked Coffee to Wayne County, Georgia. They went for 15 minutes, deliberated, and came back not guilty. They saw it from the very beginning. Even the judge Spivey said while we in there. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And my attorney said to them, you're public defenders. I mean, your district attorneys. So,
Tell his name.
Yeah, what are their names?
Ian Sansai was the district attorney. So that's what we deal with in Coffee County. I want this shared to all surrounding counties because we need some justice here. We need justice in Coffee County. Thank y'all.
Y'all get on here.
Wait a minute, Olivia, I'm sorry. Okay, sit down, that's fine. The last question I have, because I've been over here covering a lot of these stories, and what I would like to know, what word do you have? You touched on it, but where are our pastors, our local civil rights organizations, those high-educated people with PhDs and DDD degrees? Where are they? And why do you have to cry out like you are doing for such a long time? Where are your elected officials that sit with you on the council? Where are they? The black ones in particular, where are they today?
I don't have a clue. Commissioner Durham is gone out of town. I know that. He had something saying prior to. I haven't spoken with Commissioner Taylor. His father recently passed. But like I said earlier, it don't matter about your race. It doesn't matter about your race. It matters about your heart. Do you care about your fellow man? Do you care? That's what this is about. Is it right or is it wrong? It's just time out. Thank you, brother.
Any questions? All right, we got some.
There's no need of standing up for the right unless you're gonna stand up against the wrong. Tell me how you're gonna ever stop being weak unless you make your mind up to be strong. You got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long. There's no need of standing up for the right unless you're gonna stand up against the wrong.
That we're not violating the law to discuss this issue, which brings me to my complaint that I filed with the NAACP of Coffee County approximately 2 weeks or so ago. On November the 4th, 2016, I received a copy of an incident report dated October the 31st, 2016, where a certain elected official had been involved in an incident with a Douglas police officer. It was disclosed to me that the officer was going to issue a citation to the commissioner for 2 offenses. But however, I was informed that the officer was told by his superiors that he was not to issue the citation to the commission, and it would be best if that incident report was destroyed. I disclosed this information to City Manager Terrell Jacobs, and he informed me that he was aware of the incident and that he had informed Chief Castellows that if Mayor Pro Tem Pearson learned of this, it would be a problem. Well, Mayor Pro Tem Pearson did learn of this, and there is a problem. There is not only a problem because of the discriminatory manner in which Mayor Pro Tem has been treated, but because the citizens of Douglas, Georgia, deserve better and more professional services than a cover-up. And in my opinion, that's exactly what has happened. I can assure you, had this been a regular citizen or Mayor Pro Tem Pearson, if I had disobeyed what the officer had stated for me to do, or a regular citizen had disobeyed, then that officer would have proceeded behind me or the other regular citizen. Our citizens deserve fair treatment, and more importantly, they deserve transparency in the law, not a cover-up. Upon learning of the various information, I requested that this mayor and this commission have an investigation to conduct it to find the truth. Needless to say, the vote went 3 in favor of the investigation and 3 not in favor of an investigation. Go figure. Now, I am this mayor and council, because I feel like we have a responsibility to do the right thing. Now, it could be said, well, we don't know that there is a cover-up, but that's right, we don't know. But it appears to be, because several sources have came to me and stated that the officer was told he was not going to issue the citation. And when he did issue it, after I found out about the report, I went and got the report, and at that point, 10 days later, a citation was issued. But it was not issued for what the original charge was, which was you cannot proceed down that road. And the person chose to proceed down that road anyway. It was issued for not parking behind the officer's car. I am concerned about this because, in my opinion, such matter is very minute. That's a small matter. I'm concerned that if we're bothered to try to cover up for a commissioner who disobeyed the law, what would happen if it was something more serious? Now, Ms. McNeil, Commissioner McNeil, you sat here at that last meeting and you stated to Commissioner Moore that he did in fact tell you that he had went down the road the officer said not to go. Commissioner Dern has confirmed that he heard you say that. Miss City Clerk Juanetta Boulder has confirmed that she heard you say that. Ma'am, go ahead.
My understanding from Commissioner Moore was that he turned around and went the other way.
That's not what you stated at our last meeting. That's not what you stated. And it's been confirmed by others up here that you did tell him. You said it twice. Commissioner Moore, you told me that you went down the road that the officer told you not to go down. You said that twice, Ms. McNeil. But we're not going to argue about that. We're not going to argue about that. That's fine. That pastor who was asked to come here tonight, he was asked to come here for a reason. And what he spoke on had to come from God. Because like he said, it's not to be on one person to do what's right. It's on this whole council. And if you all do not want to take and look into what's happening, because we have several issues going on. And we all know it. We all know it. The high turnover rate, the discrepancies in how different people are treated. And I'm just to the point, I'm sick and tired of it. I am really sick and tired of it. But I can assure you, you all say you're going to get Mr. Presley something in writing.
That's correct.
Not only to Mr. Presley, you get me something in writing because I made the complaint. I know you're going to do it to the whole council. But see, the point is, it should not have taken this long. It should not have taken 2 weeks ago. And then for him to have to come back. We should have already had something. We should have already had something. But to those of you who did not agree to try to launch an investigation into what's going on, if there is something wrong, then you all are at fault. And I tell you, the citizens of Douglas needs to demand your resignation. If you're not going to uphold the seats that you're holding, you don't need them. You don't need them. But I'm tired. I am tired. I assure you, I am tired. And this is not the last of this. This is not the last of it. This commission had the authority to do an investigation to get down to the truth. If you're scared, you don't need to be sitting up here. That's my complaint. I rest my case for now, but that's not the end of it. I will continue to move forward to the GBI, to the FBI, ACLU, wherever I need to go into this matter. Don't sit there nodding your heads at me, Mr. Attorney, because you sat there and you heard Ms. Cindy say that and you didn't say anything to her at that last meeting. You didn't address it. Nobody addressed it but me when I said, really.
It wasn't my place to address it.
Okay.
Well, what she's saying is untrue. I did go and the officer was standing there. He stopped. And I live around the corner. And he told me to turn to the right. I said, do you know who I am? He said, I most certainly know who you are. And I said, well, me and you and the chief will have a talk Monday. So I turned, me and my wife, see, he didn't see her in there. I turned and went the way he originally told me. And the reason I told him that was, is the attitude he had. He had his wife out there with him, which is inappropriate. But I did never tell him I was going on down that road. I'm not stupid. And I have been indicted for
character assassination. You addressed Mr. Moore. I offered Mr. Moore an opportunity to respond. He has responded. So we're not going to have a back and forth.
No, we're not. But
Okay.
I'm gonna address what he said about an indictment since he brought it up.
That he did. I do agree to that. Mayor Pro Tem. You finished?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's back to the Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, Commissioner Moore, you stated about an indictment. Well, the indictment was not pertaining to the stop that I got out on November 2015. Now, when I got out of my car, 2015, November the 5th, it was because I was concerned for the life of some people, what was going on, what was wrong. I saw a young lady standing on the sidewalk, as I have said numerous times. But see, had the City of Douglas Police Department afforded me what they afforded you, that would never have been on social media site. It would not have ever been on Channel 10 News. It would have never been on Douglas Scanner. But you see, I was not afforded that for whatever reason. I got out, I saw a young lady on the sidewalk to ask her what was happening. As soon as I approached her and said, "What's happening, honey?" by that time the officers began saying, "Go back to your car, ma'am." I began backing up, going back to my car upon them stating that. That's what I did. Even though I complied and went back to my car, it was sent to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to investigate me, to try to bring some charges against me. The GBI found no wrongdoing in what I did because I went back to my car like the officer instructed me. So the indictment that has come about came about afterwards. After they were not able to pin that on me, they came up with some fraudulent mess about helping people to vote. People have always helped people to vote. Just letting you know a little history of it. Because the fact of the matter is, certain people in this community do not approve of me sitting in this seat. But those people who don't approve are the ones who do not live in my district. So to clarify with you, since you're talking about an indictment, that's just a motive to get me out of this seat that I sit in, like some of you would really like to see happen. So that's what that's all about. Nothing to do with not complying with what the officer said. The indictment is about helping people to vote. Since you chose to bring that up. But like I say, I was not afforded the opportunity. When you got your ticket that you got, it stated under investigation. That night I got out of my car, it was not allowed to be under investigation. It was immediately sent to the media to scandalize my name and try to bring shame on me. But there is no shame to be brought because I did nothing wrong. Had I not complied to the officer, I would have been at fault and I would have been arrested. You didn't comply. And you know you didn't comply. You've told several people that you went down the road, the officer told you not to go down, and so has that officer. So what I want to know is, why has his statement changed? He's been forced to change his statement, which would have been revealed if we did an investigation. But one will get done. But I just think I need to respond to that about an indictment.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have general comments from the audience. If we have a citizen that is present that would like to address the council, please go to the podium, state your name, address, telephone number, and your concern.
Good evening.
I got a question, and I was just listening to what was going on. But the thing is I seen a lot of attitude, and she said what she said about him in that corner over there. And it make people, if they watching this, it make the community feel bad, you know? And it ain't about racism and all this here. It's just the way that they doing things. Cause anybody else get a ticket, it ain't 2 months, it ain't 3 months, it's right then. And so if the community hear this on TV, they feel like they could do it. You know, why we can't get away with it? It's gonna be a problem if we do anything. So now, my thing is, Commissioner Pierce, when you get denied, let God in. Cause one thing about Coffee County, it always been crooked. And ain't nothing gonna change unless the people change their ways and their outlook on this city. Cause this city move. And so, one thing about God, if you wrong, it'll leak. It don't take darkness. It's dark out there. Morning coming. You got a lawyer, sit here and say one thing and change it up. All this here, God got to handle this. You can't handle this. He can't handle this. Can't nobody handle this but God. So when you got an attitude like what I just seen, cause of what you said, that show you favoritism and show you how they feel about you. So you don't care about how nobody feel about you. You let God work this out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to first of all say, to the citizens of Douglas, I take pride in what I do. When I got elected 17 years ago, I took an oath, and prior to taking that oath, I talked to God and prayed to God that I would do what is right and what is pleasing. And I cannot do what is right or pleasing if I know something is wrong and I do not say something about it. That's just who I am. And to the citizens that made a comment, Mr. Paul, and I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate, your concern. And what you said is so true, because that's why I said what the pastor said earlier. He was right on point, and he had his message had to have came from God, because he said in his message, this thing was too heavy for Moses. This thing too heavy for thee. So that hit very close to home to me tonight. But and I am praying about it. It's not a matter of trying to make anybody feel bad, to show anybody up. It's just a matter of standing for what is right or wrong. I'm not a person of hypocrisy. I'm not a liar. If I say something, you can count on that I'm telling you the truth, even if I'm at fault. Sometimes I think I'm too honest. A lot of people tell me that. I said I should have never have gotten into politics. And sometimes I wonder about it. I really do. But my heart is troubled because I feel like something has gone on wrong. But I am going to continue to pray about it and give it to God. But it does not bother me. You mentioned about the looks that were being given to me. That's okay, because I am the daughter of Gladys Coley. My mother was a fighter, and she would turn over in her grave if she knew I sat here and something was wrong and I did not speak on it. She told me, whatever you do, you stand for what's right if you have to stand by yourself, and that's what I would do. So it's not about trying to make anybody feel bad. It's just about, I feel and I believe our citizens deserve what is right, to be treated fairly. And if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. In our church, there's a song that says, you got to get to heaven from down here. And what that means is, everybody talking about heaven ain't going. If you're not treating your fellow man right, if you're sitting around lying, if one thing is you think drinking on Sunday is so bad or whatever, but what about that lie you told? What about that person you mistreated? We got to do right down here, people. We got to do right here by our fellow man. And I'm not going to sit and say, well, you're right when I know you're wrong. But I'm just, that's not me. That's not Olivia Coley Pearson. And for that, what is happening to me because of who I am is happening with the indictment he mentioned about helping people to vote. That's all the result of that. But I know that as long as I stand for what is right, God is with me. God is with me because people are being mistreated. That prison he talked about, people are jailed falsely. There are some people in there who are innocent. Everybody that's in there, they didn't commit the crime. So, but it's because people kept their mouth shut. Somebody knew it was wrong and they didn't say anything. And I'm sorry. I owe the citizens of Douglas, Georgia, more than that to sit back and see some wrong being done and choose to say nothing. Lastly, Commissioner Durham mentioned about the two families with the death, Harold Martin and the Andrews and Brockton. I'd also like to add the Hicks family, Mr. T.C. Hicks, Mr. Curtis Hicks there. He passed away also. Last week I think. But to everybody, please enjoy your holiday season. Be safe. Treat people right. That's not too hard to do. Thank you.
Outstanding.
too. Roscoe Allen, Mr. Allen's here to discuss some issues about the subdivision.
So as Mr. Allen is going to the podium, we're gonna make sure that we stay within our 3-minute time frame. So, Mr. Allen, if you would, at the conclusion of your 3 minutes, we're gonna proceed with the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, I want to reject this subdivision situation where they say that what the newspaper put in the paper on the last paper they wrote, they said that that ordinance has been suspended. When I found out the ordinance hadn't been suspended, that's a lie. It got suspended when I had a lawyer to sue the city, then they brought that in. Cause I put Max Lauer in my truck and carried him over there. He told me to get on the agenda. We got to reimburse you like we done the rest of it. So that policy was not suspended, that's a lie. Number 2, Tony Paul, I want you to listen real good, you hear me? Now I got this out, y'all open record question, Sunshine Law, I want you to listen real good, you hear me? Listen good now. All right, this 3 minutes, there never was no 3 minute in the work session. You understand that, y'all? This is the law right here. They own file now. Well, it was never no 3 minute in the work session. It was 3 minutes with audience participation for 3 minutes. In a work session, you get to speak long as you want to speak. Now this come out y'all file. Open record, Sunshine Law, Mr. Paul. I want you to listen to it. You got it? Okay. You don't run this city by yourself, brother. I mean what I say. Now, this is what it says now. It says that according to a charter, y'all charter, you got that, Mr. Paul? The city of Douglas government by Robert Rule of Order, new revised section 28, parliamentary procedure, section 2-29, states that the mayor shall decide, you got that? Not make decision for how many minutes up here. Y'all got nothing in y'all ordinance said that a person got 3 minutes in a work session. That's a fight now. This come out y'all own file, Mr. Paul. So you were wrong last week telling I only got 3 minutes in a work session. Know your law, know your rules out here. You the mayor. All right, I'm gonna finish reading. Now you got that? Now it says this right here, that the mayor shall preside at all commission meetings. That's what it says, preside. Okay, it said preserve order and decorum. It said nothing about no 3 minutes in no work session. Y'all got that? This come out y'all file. I requested this. Ain't no ordinance that say nothing about no 3 minutes in no work session. You got that? So you're wrong. Now all y'all up here in the commission need to know what's going on up here. You got that? It's wrong. So you were wrong last week. You told me I only had 3 minutes. Know your rules. Know your regulation. You got that? That's all I got to say now.
And Mr. Allen, you'll share that with Ms. Henderson so she can
Yeah,
get
I
copies.
said anybody I want to share it with. Come on, some meal there.
You get copies for us. Or Roger. You get copies for me. He wants copies.
I get some copies tomorrow. Don't worry about that.
He's gonna go right to the copy room, Mr. Allen. He's bringing it right back to you.
Ain't got nothing to work. So it said nothing about no 3 minutes. No order, no nothing. Am I right, Mr. Jerome? I told everything they had. I had Romero to write it down and put it for me.
Mr. Allen.
No, I'm telling you that.
Thank you.
I ain't gonna see you being like that. Fight.
Next on the agenda, we have, thank you, Ms. Richardson.
Yes, Reverend Lynette Richardson is here.
The Hispanic guy to me was clearly lost about everything that was going on. He didn't understand the concept of everything. On one vote, we wrote it on paper, and he didn't even understand what route we was going with that. So he never deliberated, never nothing. He automatically said guilty, and I felt like he was just following along with everyone else instead of speaking up for what he felt was right.
All right, Nick.
Roscoe Allen, he was one of my friends. He's a good man.
Yes, he is.
And I really don't think the mayor is afraid of him. I don't know what the problem is with him and the mayor, because I've heard several different things that could refer to that, but I don't think the mayor is really afraid of Roscoe.
All right.
I think more he just wants him in jail.
Yes, sir.
The strike the man.
All right.
That man should be home with his wife.
Yes. Yes. He got a sick
lady.
wife.
A sick lady. Can't hardly get around. They got a husband down there locked up in the bar.
It's sad.
For nothing.
For nothing.
When he could be here helping his wife.
Yes.
He can't help and they ain't gonna help him.
Right. What kind of heart do he got?
The man
What kind of heart?
The man should be free.
Yeah, he should be free.
I know Roscoe 30, 40 years. And Roscoe ain't gonna hurt nobody. He do a lot of talking sometimes, but he ain't gonna hurt nobody.
That's it. That's it.
He got a right to be mad.
He got a right to be mad.
We all talk.
Some people took $4,000 for that man. He got a right to be mad.
That's right.
And I'm glad that him instead of me. It would be the other way.
I hear you.
They need to free Roscoe. They need to free that man.
You right.
Let him come home to his sick wife.
Yes.
We love him and her.
That's right.
And I'm going to follow her until the end.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Mitch. Thank you.
All right.
Just like Malcolm got mad with me about this right here. I gave every one of y'all copies right here. It says right here. Now, Matt McGowan had one, all y'all had one. It says, Commissioner Roper, deposition testimony. You heard what I said? Matt McGowan said it's a summary. Now, he's a lawyer, you know that? He had a copy of this. That's what it said right here. It says, Commissioner Roper, deposition testimony. Now, I'm going to tell you what Mr. Roper said about this testimony. You understand that? About this waste, this sewage, this water sufficient policy. Y'all said that was suspended. That policy never was suspended. Now, you do, Preston. You write the news too. Now, you wrote about them going on that trip. Spending, what, $1,700? Well, why you put this in the paper about Francis Lott, Griffin, Dennis Joseph, getting all this free water sewer ran free behind closed doors. I found out about the policy, then y'all said suspended. It wasn't never suspended. Why you put that in the paper? Preston, huh? Douglas Enterprise, where you at? Why you put that in the paper? But you don't put in the paper about what they done, little penny money. And here you go, they spending $1,000 on waterway sewer. It cost me $42,000 run mine. Now, what the thing it cost them? They still be bigger than mine. Then y'all complaining about, hey, every time black with this newspaper is biased towards black. That's why I'm suing it. Doesn't I meant what I said. I don't care how much money I spent, I'm gonna sue the city too. Come on. And Charlie Taylor, how I directed something to it or Michael Dollar threat. You tell me. How I directed a threat to him. What did I say? You mean tell me a physical speech about a 9mm or a machine gun? That's a physical speech. It's like a 100 going, so I got a 12-gauge shotgun. That's a lie. You put that paper. And I'm gonna show you in this city here. It's time out for y'all to come up here and do black like you. You're wrong, you're wrong. If you're city heat, don't run for city commission. You got that? Don't run. You can't take the heat.
We got your
It's enough of this violent stuff going on with black. Every time black come up there, the city don't make the city. Y'all make the city look bad. The city is making the city look bad. Do right, we'll have that problem you want.
Mr. Allen, I completely agree with you.
That's what I say.
I do.
And I'm going to sue back up here.
Because you
did
not make a
That's right. And you Preston, I wish you wrote something about me. I was suing you too, your paper. But all that about them that will finish little $1,700. They go friends now, spend all this money on them behind closed doors, running water sewer line free. That's what costs to go, running the water sewer line free.
Yeah.
They got found out the policy like suspended. I'm going to read what Commissioner deposition, which all y'all had. You too said, I listened to you telling help. I ain't crazy. You ain't crazy. You had this deposition here. All that to read what Mr. Roper said, ain't credible been in here 30 years. I'm going to read on every one of y'all listen to this. Hear me? Meant what I say. Or all y'all listen to this. On June 27th, 2003, plaintiff deposed Mr. Roper's deposition. When questioned about it, Mr. Roper stated that he didn't remember the policy changes. He knew he didn't vote to change it. You got that? He said that the policy official could have happened, but not while he was in office. Now, he was in office way after I read this subdivision. You tell me now. And listen to this here, the last statement he said. Last statement he said was Mr. Roscoe claimed to have no personal recollection when the subject party was suspended. Now y'all had this right here. All you had to do right about it. Y'all let friends not all them run it free, pay for it free behind closed doors. Hey, if you're gonna do what you advertise, put everybody want to. Everybody like to put a stuff in, they gonna run in one line. City gonna pay for it free for them, but they put none of that in the paper. None of it. You need the press. You put none of it in either, but put it about them there going on that trip down to eat to $1,700. That ain't chicken change. That's what I said. That's right. I wish you wrote something about me too. I don't be suing your paper too. I mean what I say.
$1,700 were also for hotel expenses.
I know. They don't mean that. Look how much they spend on them.
Not just
run the water sewer line. It cost me $42,000 to run mine. They certainly bigger than mine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand your compassion, Mr. Allen, and again, I apologize that you have not been compensated.
You don't have no my attorney real well. He don't sue the city twice.
Yeah.
And more than butter, I'm gonna wear your butter out too, see. I mean what I'm saying. I'm gonna wear the newspaper out too. I wouldn't know Friday morning.
Mr. Allen, the mayor pro tem has a question.
My question would be, because I was gonna bring this up in the meeting too, as well. I wanna know who submitted this to Douglas Enterprise.
Who did? Charlie, they did too.
Who submitted
That's
it?
incorrect, Ron.
Well,
You
I'm
got
out
to
here
ask the
too.
city manager.
It's in the paper here.
Wait, Mr. Allen, hold on.
No, I got paper right
The
here.
reason why I said that was
You know the paper. I can read everything you said right here. Last week paper.
Mr. Allen.
Well, go ahead and say it. I want to know too.
Mr. City Manager, who submitted that to the Douglas Enterprise?
Have no idea. It's their normal recap from their commission meeting. If you
So
look
where
at,
did they get it from? They wasn't
Somebody.
if you look at the agenda items from last time and newspaper article, it went out of its way to make sure no names were mentioned. So
But also on that article, it has our comments that we said in the last meeting.
That's right.
So therefore, we have the comments that we said in the last meeting. All of my comment that was in there wasn't all to what I said in that last
you'd
meeting.
have to ask the Douglas Enterprise because their representative was here. I mean, nobody that I know of submitted anything to
She
them.
was here. Chrissy was here.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Commissioner, let me read this article, okay? I want everybody to hear this article. We gonna find
And y'all all have an article provided up at your desk.
Let me read the article, okay? The article says right here. This is what the article says. City address safety measures after individual make threatening remarks. During the last sitting of Douglas Mayor and Commission meeting on Tuesday, November 13th, Mayor Tony Paul and the Commission discussed the safety and security concerning the Douglas City Hall Fire incident at an October meeting where an individual made threatening remarks direct to a commissioner. City Manager Charlie Davis stated that the point of this conversation was not just revolving around the particular incident, but was meant to talk about security as a whole in the current building. During October 22nd meeting, an individual allegedly made a remark, I got a 9mm.
9mm. Towards.
I got it right here. Toward one of the city commissioners. According to Davis, the comment sparked several department heads, regular staff, and some council members approaching him concerned about the safety and security. They have been very concerned about this individual erratic behavior, disrespect for council members, threatening body language, Davis said. They also stated that the police have looked into the threat and said, now I'm gonna tell you something. I wish the police department would have arrested me, you understand that? For threat. So I didn't threaten nobody. I wish they would have arrested me. Then I'll be suing the police department. I meant what I say.
Finish reading it.
I'm finna finish that. Hold your horse. I'm on the jungle now.
Okay.
All right? I'm on the jungle.
Come on.
All right. David stated that the police have looked into the threat and said the best we can determine is that the threat was conditional, not unconditional. Commissioner Edwin Taylor stated, we do need to have security at all times during our meetings for the safety of the commission and all who attend. I definitely think that's something we need to look into because in this day and time, you never know what is going on in an individual mind. Commissioner Karen Darn's thought, I understand we need to have security, but we do not have the Douglas Post, we do have the Douglas Post Department here. talk about this because I don't want to have this conversation after an event. So do we do something now or wait until something possible happens? Before the event or after the event? Is why I'm bringing this up. Mayor Tony Park stated, yes, I am all for being proactive. I agree. Commissioner McNeil replied, there is nothing wrong for a citizen to come here and tell us we are idiots and get upset because of situation. What is not okay is when that conversation becomes harmful or threatening. We got to make sure we know the difference. Mayor Park responded, considering the intention that people have in this day of time, I can agree that something should be in place.
That's when the hearing gonna be. This Roscoe wife right here.
You want Roscoe out of jail?
Yes, I do.
Do you have some kind of disabilities?
Yes, I do.
And so you need him
I need him home.
pretty bad, don't you?
I do.
But these people say they're going to fight to try to assist you in getting him back.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for standing with your husband and not leaving him at times like these. Thank you very much. This is Coffee County in the city of Douglas. You notice they fly the Georgia state flag and the United States flag, like most cities and counties and states in the United States, but not in Valdosta, Georgia. They don't fly one over the Rainwater Conference Center. And I'm asking you to Google Boston G.B.R. And it's been going on for a long time. It's disrespecting our men and women in uniform. And the elected officials down south here, many of them are in retaliation to the Georgia legislators for approving the new flag. Y'all have a nice day. I do this because I love y'all and I love your children. I cannot be a child of God or Jesus or Muhammad or Allah or Jah or Jehovah and don't stand up for what is right. How can you say you love God but you don't love God's children? Bye-bye, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in and may God bless each of y'all. Peace. All right, thank you, brother.